Hi guys, welcome to my coffee show. My name is Jack, and today we're going to play with two of my electric grinders, Niche and DF64. But today we're going to do a pour over. Uh, to be honest, I've never ever tried to do the pour over with Niche before. I think I only tried to do the pour over with Solo on a handful of occasions, but some time ago I changed the burst to SSP multi-purpose burst. Never tried to do the pour over with those bursts, so that will be new. That will be something I have no idea what we're going to get here today. So the question I will try to answer by the end of this video is Niche DF64 with SSP burst. Which one is better for pour over? I mean, in my honest opinion, unless you make a big batch of pour over, I would really use a hand grinder. Nice, easy, coarse grind takes what, 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, depending which hand grinder you use, and the results are usually very good. Those are multi-purpose electric grinders, but I see them as espresso grinders. Maybe I'm wrong, we will see at the end of this video. DF64, it's called Solo in UK. Very good espresso grinder. I was so impressed, and I'm still so impressed with this grinder. For espresso, definitely nice clarity you get even with a standard Itamil burst. So that's the 64 millimeters burst they come in. But you may upgrade to other 64 millimeters burst. So that's what I did. So the obviously that's not cheap, so that put up the price. But I think the end result it's worth it, especially if you're looking for clarity. But we're not talking about espresso today. So this grinder, it's 250 watts grinder with RPM 1400. Comes in so many different colors. I went for the matte black because I like it, but if you fancy some strange colors, you may find them. I strongly recommend to get few mods for this grinder. So I got this 3D printed mod that brings the dosing cup closer to the chute, so there's less issue with the mess. There is a grind indicator here, and I also put anti-popcorning thing. That's something you may consider. There is a blower on top, so it's a low retention grinder. I wouldn't call it a zero retention. When you finish the grinding, you just use the blower to blow up some of the residue. Obviously, some of the coffee that comes into the cup will be the coffee grinded from the grinds before, so that's the exchange. The few things that people complain is that the switch is on here, so not the easiest way to get in. It's not very noisy, but it's definitely not a quiet grinder. It's relatively fast, so yes, I do like it. And this grinder, as a standard with the Itamil burst in UK, costs around 400 pounds. So for this price, honestly, it's difficult to find anything better. Now the Niche, the well-known electric grinder, single dose grinder, lighter than the DF64 and a little bit shorter. Just by the look, I have no idea which one I prefer. Possibly Niche. That's all very subjective. 350 watts of power and 330 RPM, if I remember correctly. In UK, it costs 500 pounds, so there's that 100 pounds difference between this one and this one, but you can kind of see where that extra 100 pounds went to. So you've got a nice metal dosing cup, nice wooden stand. It comes only in two colors, black or white, but it's a nice finish. The switch on the side, no mods necessary, everything is as it should be. The one thing that I do recommend is to get this or something similar, like a blowing cup by the end of the grinding, you just blow up the residue. They call it niche zero. I like to call it niche almost zero. And again, I use the blower. I check my dose before and after. If necessary, I blow it again. I also like to, by the end, knock the chute, because there is often some coffee residue stuck in here. So this one got 63 millimeters conical burrs from Mother. Often that provides a little bit less clarity, but a nice silky body to the cup of espresso. On the DF64, to change the settings, kind of very difficult to see exactly where you are. So that's the grind indicator, the one that you get when you buy a grinder. This one you have to buy separately. So this grind indicator doesn't show you clearly where you are. Standard Itamil burrs, your zero, where the burrs are touching, it's, at least for me, it was well beyond zero, somewhere here. With the SSP burrs, somehow, because they are a little bit thicker, it's now around where the zero should be, so here. But with the standard burrs, it's somewhere here. So that's why, again, you need the grind indicator, so you know where you are. But then the numbers itself are becoming meaningless, because for every grinder, those numbers can be somewhere else. It's easier to compare numbers, grind settings, with niche, although I heard they are not identical. So to change the settings on the niche, that easy. So you've got that dot here, and you just rotate. You just rotate the ring, and that rotates, that changes the settings. You even know exactly where you are, because they say espresso filter course. On the solo, once you put the grind indicator, it's also not that difficult. So you see the filter range is around here. That's the mocha, whatever it means, that's the mocha range. If we're talking about how easy it is to use the grinders, this one not difficult, this one is that easy. The workflow, everything, that's why people love it, for simplicity and for the workflow. But I'm not saying this one is bad. It takes few days to get used to it. This one you will, at least for the workflow, you will love it immediately. As always, with every review, I mention something that I really like about the niche. Well, look behind. Can you see all those wires, that electric wires? So normally I keep them hidden, but for today's video I kind of couldn't hide them anywhere. Niche, you can hide the electric wire inside the grinder, so you can adjust the length of the wire. Yeah. So now, how they look, that's subjective. Price, before updating the burrs, niche is £100 more expensive. After updating the burrs and adding those 3D printed mods, actually DF64 is over £100 more expensive. Yeah, so I think it's a time now to do the pour over. Should we do Clever Dripper, or should we go for V60? Let's go for V60. It's probably more people got a V60 than a Clever Dripper, so let's go for V60. So I will use my size 2 2-cup V60. The recipe is the same recipe that we used in the previous pour over video. 15 grams of coffee, 250 grams of water. We start with blooming phase. That will be 45 grams of liquid, and the blooming phase will last for 2 minutes. Then I will put the remaining water, 205 grams of water, and we will filter the coffee. I'm aiming for, let's say, 2.5 minutes. We will see where we get. I have no idea about the settings, so I probably will have to do it a few times, so the results are comparable. And then I taste. The coffee we're using today, the Pelicano coffee roaster from Brighton. The tasting notes, hard candy, strawberry and cherry. Last time I used it, I couldn't get those flavor notes. I mean, it was good cup, but I couldn't reach those flavor notes. But since then I tried it a few times, and every now and then I do get a very, very nice fruity cup of coffee. Hopefully today, at least with one of those grinders, I will get. Settings, as I said, I have no idea. So for niche, we'll start with 35. With DF64, I don't know why, but 45, number 45 is kind of calling my name. So I will start with the 45, especially when you do those big adjustments. I would recommend to purge the grinder. Not everybody would agree, but I would recommend to purge the grinder with a few grams of coffee. So 15 grams of coffee for DF64. You open it, drop it in. Okay, around 10 seconds. You could hear the noise. Now have a look, there is obviously some static. How much we get? We get 14.9. Okay, but again, some of that will be the coffee from previous grinds. So if I use the bellow, again, we've got more than than we were aiming for. So now we've got 15.3. So 15 grams for niche. You open it, put it in here, you lock it. Much quieter. Okay, 12 seconds it took. How much we got here? 14.4. So that's a lot of coffee that's stacked in. So now let's see if we can get a little bit more. So I put it in here, look at the chute. Okay, how much we managed to get. Knock it here. And now we've got 15. But you see, they say niche 0. That's why I call it niche almost 0, because you need something to blow the extra coffee out of the bears. The time to do a pour over. Let's start with the solo. The water temperature I will go for 98 degrees. In the description I will put my affiliate links for Amazon. If you want to support the channel, you can click on those links, buy some stuff from the Amazon. You don't have to buy precisely the stuff that I'm showing you, but if you buy something after clicking my links, I may get a small commission. You still pay regular price, and also don't forget to click like and subscribe. Very important for the channel. So let's make some coffee. It eventually took 2 minutes and 45 seconds to extract the coffee. That's from DF64. As you can see, there's a very muddy coffee bed, lots of fines. Possibly those burrs, you know, they are a month old or so, possibly not fully seasoned for pour overs. For the moment I thought I managed to clog the filter, but 2 minutes and 45 seconds of the extraction time. I think well, the time is okay. The coffee bed doesn't look inviting, but the most important, how the coffee tastes. I will quickly do a niche, let it cool down, and then we will taste. Okay, so the niche, I'm brewing it again because the first one was a bit too fast. So on the setting 35, it took 2 minutes to brew. This one took 2:45, so I want kind of similar, closer time of brewing, so we can compare it. But this one should be ready, so let's do a first taste. So I can smell fruits and I can smell a chocolate. We managed to develop, it's a delicate taste, but we managed to develop that cherry kind of flavor, sweetness, a little bit of sourness, but the notes are clear, the notes are sharp. There is a hint of bitterness that could almost be a bit too much. It's not too much, but it could almost be a too much. But the flavors are there, the fruitiness, the cherries. Very, very enjoyable cup of coffee. It's just that slight bitterness that I would like to get rid, but the rest is perfect. Very, very good cup of coffee. Let me finish the brewing on the niche. Okay, so on the third attempt, I managed to get 3 minutes brew time on the niche 0. The coffee bed, very similar to DF64, so kind of on the muddy side. So the first few attempts were well too fast, and the third one was slightly too slow. On the setting number 29, so probably around 31 would be the perfect setting for this coffee. For on this grinder, on solo I would grind around near 50, let's say below 50, for like a perfect cup. So let it cool down a little bit, and then we will taste it. Okay, so a big moment for me. First time ever I try pour over coffee from niche. Well, it smells much fruitier than the first cup. Fruits, almost like a violets in the taste. The bitterness that was slightly over pronounced in a first cup, it's present here, but it is on a lower end. Maybe a little bit less sweetness, which is surprisingly, because I was expecting DF64 more on a sour note. A little bit less sweetness from this cup. But overall, I have to say, that's why I'm a bit confused, because overall those two cups are very good. Trying to look for more differences. Possibly the first cup was a bit smoother, but I'm getting a bit more fruits on this side. Difficult. It's one of those tests, guys, that I'm struggling. But today I'm struggling for a good reason. I'm struggling for a good reason because two cups are very good. In both of those cups, I mean, it took me that's my third attempt on the niche, but and I managed to do it on a first go on the DF64. But in both of those cups, there are flavor notes that I wanted there to be. So there is a sweetness, a little bit more in a DF64 today. I don't know why, but a little bit more like a fruity sourness on the niche today, which you would expect to be opposite, yeah. But both very enjoyable, clear, and I wasn't expecting clarity, especially after I've seen the coffee bed. But I definitely was not expecting any clarity from the niche, and I'm getting two very good cups. Cherries, violet here, more like a kind of a strawberry taste on the DF64, more of that sweetness there, like this hard candy or whatever it is. Both very good cups. Both of them are nearly there. Both of them I could try to improve to extract even more of that flavor. The results today, in the taste department, I would say is a draw. Overall, with SSP multi-purpose burrs, well, niche is the cheaper grinder here now, and the taste notes are comparable. I don't think that either of those burrs finished the seasoning, so they probably in the next month or so they would reach the peak potential. But at least because of the price reason, I probably would say niche won today. But both of them very good. So if you buy it purely for pour over, then you probably can go for the niche. Just remember to season does that burst. I mean, it takes months to reach the peak potential. DF64 will give you pretty much the same quality pour over, but also, in my opinion, most of the time with the coffee that I drink, a little bit better espresso. So those are this is my verdict for purely for the pour over. I would say niche because it's cheaper, but that's the only reason. So you see I'm kind of moving back and forth, kind of confused because the results were kind of inconclusive. But guys, I'm sure lots of you got either of those grinders. Maybe you have both, maybe you had experience with both. Which one you prefer for the pour over and why? Please leave the comments below. There's one quick announcement. I don't want to jinx it, but hopefully next week or two there will be a new electric grinder for the channel. I wouldn't say an end game grinder, although probably some people would think about this grinder as an end game grinder. I mean, you know what? Have a guess which grinder I'm getting. I will give you a few clues. So it's slightly bigger and heavier. It's a single dose grinder, multi-purpose, 83mm burrs, flat. Whoever gets it right, you will. The price it's my respect, which is worth more than anything else. So definitely click like, subscribe. But for today, thank you very much for watching. My name is Jack. This is my coffee show, and hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.